Let's go to the back page of The Sun, dominated by Harry Kane in training yesterday. And the headline goes, "We're here for Harry." Levy tells him he still wants 100 million plus at Hotel Summit. Now, this is an exclusive by Charlie Wyatt today. It says Bayern Munich last night jetted in a bid to sign Tottenham striker Harry Kane. The Bundesliga's giants were sent a delegation meeting to Spurs chairman Daniel Levy in a central London hotel in the hope of landing the England captain. Bayern, of course, wanted to do a £60 million deal, but Daniel Levy remains sure that it'll be 100 million plus, and also told Real Madrid that he wasn't for sale as well. The fact that they're here in London, if this is true, looks like it's definitely that Harry Kane is making sure that this tries to get done.
Well, I mean,
tell us the inner workings, Cass, of football.
I mean, look, obviously, the fact that Bayern have insisted, and the reports have come out of Germany as well, that they're coming to have talks with Harry Kane and his representatives and the club and trying to negotiate this deal. Tottenham saying he's not for sale, and they've brushed off Real Madrid, but he is for sale if it's over 100 million. So it's going to be finding the middle ground. I think I said to Nat a few weeks ago, when Harry Kane had a meeting, I think it was March time, with Daniel Levy in the club, that was to tell them, in my opinion, only through experience of being in the game, that he was telling them, I want to go this summer. And I don't believe he will be at Spurs this season coming. I just think it will be done because he would come out and say, look, I'm not going to Bayern Munich. He would definitely be doing that.
Can I ask you then, even if a rival were to come in, like a Premier League rival, for example, Manchester United, at the death and offer 100 million plus, do you think that deal could still be done?
I think he knows his time is done at Spurs, and he's been an incredible servant. And I don't see how, after the year they've had, and he stayed with them year after year in bad times, and yes, this season was very, very difficult for Spurs. But I did feel like this was a line in the sand season that eventually meant that he would go and leave Spurs. So
it certainly, I mean, the fact that it's not going away tells you there is certainly some truth to this story. So it's be interesting. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that hotel.
Definitely. Another story in the back of the Sun as well today by Robert Martin. It says Rory, live, retire, jibe. This was all over the news headlines yesterday. Of course, it's the Scottish Open at the moment. He's currently on day one, 6 under, tied in third. Rory McIlroy would rather quit golf than play for live. He was asked yesterday how he feels about the DP World Tours and the PGA for the Saudi Rebels, and McIlroy said, if live golf was the last place on earth to play golf, I would rather retire. That is how I feel. And then there's a story just above that in the back page of The Sun about Jordan Henderson and this possible move and link to Saudi Arabia. And Jake and I were discussing it this morning in early breakfast, and Jake is horrified at the idea of Jordan Henderson making this move for the money, because as another thing that he's done is represented the LGBTQ and been such an ambassador and a support for that community. He's worn the rainbow armband for quite some time. So Rory McIlroy, no matter how much money you can throw at this guy, his morals come first. He doesn't want the Saudi money. Whereas Jordan Henderson has actually represented and put himself as part of a community, and now looks like possibly, he's not said that, he's not given it the green light yet, but possibly 700,000 a week could convince him to let those morals go. And I just wondered your thoughts on that.
I'm just thinking of the Tommy Cooper line. It's the money, not the principle, which he used to say,
yeah.
Look, think of a community that you disappoint.
Okay, so on Rory, just first, is, Rory has obviously gone to Dubai a number of times and taken issues. And there's a number of issues in Dubai, Qatar, and he's gone there to play golf.
Yeah.
I feel like he's gone a bit too far at times. And there is a part of me that if you're inclusive and you can go there and you can play a part in change, wouldn't that be a better idea for Rory to think?
My husband said that last night. Would you not want to be part of the change?
Be part of the change. The Middle East is changing. Okay? They are doing things slightly different. There are still loads of issues, but I do feel that he could be an ambassador in some way to make the change happen faster, which we all believe in the West, is wrong that is happening out there. I think that's a pretty universal view. So I just think Rory is going really two-footed in everything to do with live golf.
And that for Jordan, do you think, having been an ambassador, it's quite a tough one for him to do, and quite a community to let down?
Oh, absolutely. And we're going to talk more about that throughout the show. But I mean, interestingly, he was part of obviously the Rainbow Laces campaign in 2019 when that came to fruition, and he was talking then as long as even one supporter questions, this is a direct quote from Henderson, whether they are welcome or can enjoy football because of their sexuality, this campaign is important. Wow. So to go to Saudi Arabia, where we know it's a repressive state, where homosexuality, being transgender remains illegal, and anyone who identifies as such could be subjected to severe penalties, it doesn't sit quite right. But I also understand where you're coming from. And if he's going to go there with that message actually and continue that message, then maybe that is a good thing ultimately. Mm-hmm. But it's intriguing because we're not hearing from him, so we don't know.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.